Good afternoon, and I'd like to tell you about something that many students have described as the hardest fun they've ever had. But first, I want to tell you a little bit about career day at elementary school. So when I started doing these when my children were young, I found that I had a lot of competition. First, you have your larger-than-life airline pilots, fighter pilots. They come in there with all their great stories. You have your real-life hero firefighters. They have all kinds of great things to tell the kids. You have doctors come in and describe a career in their profession. And then here I am, an engineer. What's that? I can tell you from firsthand experience that if you ask a bunch of fourth graders what you want to be when you grow up, none of them are going to say engineer. So what are engineers anyway? Well, my friends all think that I have a lot of electrical gear, soldering irons, I build things. Not true. My customer at work thinks that I just play around a lot all day. Maybe that's a little bit true. A lot of society out there still thinks that engineers are the guys who drive trains. My parents think that I can align their satellite dish. That part is true. I did buy a meter to do that. It's very useful. What I really want to do is be Tony Stark and design Iron Man. But this is what I really do a lot all day. Okay, so anyway, as an engineer, you think about how can you pass on what you do to your children? How do you get kids excited about what you do? I was looking for something. There were plenty of parents who are willing to step up and be soccer or baseball coaches. But what about coaching something academic? So I looked around and I found something, and that is the FIRST program. And FIRST stands for Inspiration and Recognition of Science and Technology. It was founded by Dean Kamen, who's most famous for inventing the Segway, back in 1989. So his vision is to transform our culture by creating a world where science and technology are celebrated and where young people dream of becoming science and technology leaders. So I really got hooked when I heard about this program, and we decided to start up a team of fourth graders. So this was about 6 years ago. So here's what it looks like. First, it's a family of programs. They start with Junior First LEGO League. That's for ages 6 through 9. First LEGO League is ages 4 through 8. I'll talk a little bit more about these coming up. First Tech Challenge, that's what Sahil was talking about. That's what we did this year. And they have First Robotics Challenge. So everything from kindergarten all the way up through high school. So this is a picture from the 2012 World Championship. This is First LEGO League, and you can see the playing fields there. Randolph School has set up a demonstration of this out in the lobby as well, so you can see that. It's a huge program. Last year there were over 20,000 teams worldwide, 200,000 participants in grades 4 through 8 over 60 countries. In Alabama, we have 90 teams, and we have 4 qualifying tournaments. 2 of those took place last weekend, and there's 1 Alabama champion, which advances to the World Championship. So what is it? It's a robotics program. It's a way to get kids interested in math and science. What they do over a season is they do research, they design and build a robot, and this is an autonomous robot. No remote control. It's something that they have to pre-program and go out and navigate an obstacle course. They use the Lego Mindstorms kit. It's the same thing that you can buy retail at Toys R Us. There's different components to the season, but the most important are they have a robot game obstacle course, and they have to present a research project. They will learn from and interact with adult mentors from engineering fields, different science fields, and they work as a team. So they have to figure things out throughout the whole season, and then they also have to present the research back to the community. So it's a great opportunity to put the kind of things that we learn in engineering into practice. So I just want to show you my teams. We started off back in 5th grade. You can see that bunny there in the middle. We had our team was named the Energizer Bunnies. The year after that, 7th grade, 8th grade, and then last year, this is our team, mostly 9th graders at Huntsville High School, and this is at the World Championship. Okay, so now I'll talk a little bit about First Tech Challenge. So this is the high school level. The differences I've highlighted here in italics and underline. So the differences are that we do driver-controlled robots. So rather than doing autonomous robots, which navigate an obstacle course, we have a much larger playing field. We do a 12 by 12 foot playing field, and we have a portion of that playing field out in the lobby today. It's 2-on-2, so you're teamed up with somebody randomly and you'll compete against a team of 2. And it's a lot of contact, a lot of playing defense, a lot of strategizing, but you have a whole season to figure out how you want to design your robot and how you want to play the robot game. Every year the theme is different. We do a lot of project-based learning, so some of the things that we try to apply on my team is we go through the whole engineering design process. Everything from brainstorming to design to prototyping to testing, going back and doing rework, and then trying to finalize it before we go to competition. So lots of interaction from mentors in the field. I try to get folks from work and people in industries in Huntsville to work with the team and give us feedback on our designs. And it's just a great learning experience. Okay, and I just want to show you a few pictures. So from last year's World Championship, on the far left, you have a robot here that has a scissors lift. So the challenge last year, the way to get the most points is you had your 12 by 12 playing field. There were 100 racquetballs that were randomly dispersed over the playing field. You would have to go pick up racquetballs, place them in these baskets, and lift the baskets as high as possible. You get 10 points for every 6 inches that you lift them up. So a lot of teams came up with these scissors lifts. So it's a really neat concept, but the robot has to fit within an 18-inch box at the start of the round. So you're very limited in how big the robot can be, but it can expand once you start. And the top, you have a robot with lots of blinky lights on it. People like to add a lot of bling to their robots to make them look nice and personalize them. And then below that, you see a robot with a multi-jointed arm. So that's similar to the robot that we have as a demonstration out in the lobby today. So again, if you need to do something up high, you have to start very low because you have to fit within an 18-inch box, and then you can expand afterwards. So a couple of pictures of teams that we met at the World Championship, several all-girls teams and lots of teams that had a number of girls on them, even if they weren't an all-girl team. And then there were 20 different countries represented at the World Championship. So we have one team here, I think from China. Out of the 8 rounds that we competed in, 4 of our rounds we were teamed with Chinese teams. And a couple times we had to get interpreters just to help us communicate. Okay. So the World Championship, it's not as large a program as First Lego League, but still quite large. 2,500 teams competed last year worldwide, 25,000 participants. This actually spans from middle school all the way up through high school, 7th through 12th grade, 20 countries involved. In Alabama, currently we have 7 teams. We have one qualifying tournament, which will be on January 12th at Grissom High School. And then right now, we don't have enough teams in the state to have our own program. We're trying to build up the program and have our own tournament. But right now, teams from Alabama would compete in Georgia. So that's what we did last year. And then at the Georgia Championship, 2 of those teams advanced to the World Championship. Okay, so I'm going to show you a video from one of our rounds at the World Championship. And again, the goal is you and your teammate want to put a racquetball into a basket and then lift that as high as possible. And you have a 2-minute round to do that. So I'm just going to show you the last 50 seconds. And here we go. Okay, so it's very exciting. You know, up until the last second, the results of the round can change. You can see our teammate was able to lift something up very high right at the last second. So up until then, it was pretty much tied between us and the blue team. So it was a great experience. You get to put a lot of engineering concepts to practice, and you get a whole season long to compete at this. So it's something that you can come up with a design, iterate, refine it, and then just keep working on it and improving it. I would estimate that our team spent 400 hours last year throughout the season working on the robot, and that's all after school. We don't, it's not a school program. It's all that time is after school and weekends. Okay. So I'd just like to encourage folks that, you know, if you see our demo, please come by and talk with us if you're interested. We've got a lot of resources available if you're interested in any of these programs that FIRST puts on. We have our team website up on the top. firstinalabama.org is it's a general site for all the FIRST programs for the state of Alabama. Alabama FLL, Alabama FTC for the two specific programs, and we really want to help. We've helped a number of teams get started. We mentor teams. What we'd like to do is grow this program, and we'd like to make it available to folks. And just the hardest thing is getting people to get started because it's such an unknown, something that they don't have any background in. But that's where we can help. We can help folks get started, help them register teams, help them get some training in the off season. And these websites also list some training opportunities to get going in the off season, which would be over the summer, in case people are interested. Okay, just real quickly, a couple of my favorite quotes. So last year, somebody was, talking about how difficult this is. So they said, you have to use your brain to figure out what's going to be a good defense. It's very stressful and exciting at the same time. And I can tell you, out there on the playing field with everybody watching, it's very stressful, but it's the most satisfying experience when you can do what you set out to do. And then lots of girl teams, like I mentioned. In the past, girls were thought to be harmless competition, but they've really grown in their ability, and now FTC has shown that they're a fierce threat for those who underestimate their engineering prowess and determination. Okay. All right. Thank you very much.